So, how to prepare for the coming crash? I have to be candid, I think it's already here, but we're going to dig into that. And I'm going to tell you how to get ready and, frankly, how to capitalize on what's coming. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Khleif, and I'm host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast, which I'm blessed to say is the largest commercial real estate podcast in existence right now. I'm also author of the #1 best-selling book, How to Create Lifetime Cash Flow Through Multifamily Properties, which I still give away for free. But let's talk about the upcoming crash and how you can prepare for it. Now, I'm going to scare you a little bit with some of these headlines. Every one of these headlines, with the exception of one, is in the last 4 days. Okay, there's one that was about 30 days ago, and I'll let you know which one that is. But I'm going to show you what's really going on. Now, a lot of these headlines are buried right now. They're like way back on the news channels. And let me say this to you. I think the news is going to get much uglier after the midterms. You know, there's a huge political influence on the media. And I think if the political environment changes, which is expected with the midterms, I think the news is going to be very sobering. And the reason that's important is because perception is reality. And I'll circle back to that in a second. So let's get into it. So what I'm going to start with is some headlines. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to give you a dose of reality, okay, into why I believe a crash is absolutely coming. So let's get into it. So here's a headline. Facebook, Meta, has begun laying off workers. They plan to reduce their operating expenses by 10%. And honestly, their operating expenses is basically their payroll, right? So they're going to be laying off 10% of their people. I don't know how many employees they have, but it's in the tens of thousands. So that's a big deal. Okay. So they've reportedly started to lay off some employees as part of their efforts to cut down operating expenses. But again, what's their biggest expense? Payroll. So they're going to be laying off a lot of people, okay? Snap's laying off 20% of their workforce. You can imagine how big a deal that is, okay? Twitter and Microsoft laying off. Now, these big tech companies are bellwethers for the economy. They really are. These are the most successful companies on the planet, and they're laying people off. So it's a big deal, okay? So here's an article in the New York Times. Now, all of these, I had where they were posted, and I didn't reference them on the previous slides, but this New York Times, from boom to gloom. Tech recruiters are dying right now because nobody's hiring. Everybody's laying off workers, and so they're unable to send people to these tech companies. You know, seemingly overnight, the tech industry flipped from aggressive growth and hiring sprees and all these perks. You know, they've got the places you can eat at Google, and they have slides, and they have all this cool stuff and daycare and all sorts of things. Now they've frozen hiring, and they're doing layoffs, and they're cutting expenses and doing more with less. So that's what's coming. So it's small businesses, not just tech. This was in franchising.com. Report finds hiring freezes and layoffs rising among small businesses. Now, please, I'm going to bring this home. Don't like build up the fear here. I just want to give you a dose of reality, but I'm going to tell you how to get excited because you can absolutely take advantage of what's coming. Should be the greatest transfer of wealth in history. So stay with me, okay? Don't get sucked, don't get too upset about the negativity here. But they're saying the study, 63% of small businesses aren't hiring because they can't afford to add workers. Now listen to this. 49% of those stopped hiring because of high payroll expenses, recessionary fears, and reduced revenues. And this is already happening, okay? It's just not mainstream. It's not really out there yet on the main media, but I truly believe that's going to change after the midterms. 80% of small businesses are paying at least 50% more in labor costs. That is freaking staggering. 50% more in labor costs is staggering, okay? We're not even talking about inflation for the regular person here or the price of gas. We're just talking about the labor market, okay? Here's News 10, U.S. job openings sink as economy slows and costs to borrower rises. Okay, now we're talking about inflation. It's staggering what's happening. You know this. I'm sure you've been impacted by it as well, okay? Associated Press, the number of available jobs in the U.S. plummeted in August compared to July as businesses grow less desperate for workers. They don't need the workers as much anymore. And so, and they're trying to cool high inflation. And then they're going to be successful at it. I tell you, at some point here, but it's going to mean a recession or even a depression. Amazon freezes corporate hiring. I mean, Amazon, I think the largest net worth of a company in the country. Okay, here, this is a dated article. This is from about 30 days ago. Expect layoffs at 51% of the U.S. companies, according to this survey in Forbes. Okay, this is only 30 days old, but 51% of U.S. companies. It's not a little amount, right? It's a big deal. All right, I'm going to blow through these because I think you're getting the message. By the way, this is interesting. A lot of people are working remotely now. I just found this. And white-collar remote workers may lose their jobs as companies hire globally. I've hired VAs in Latin America for a fraction. I mean, really competent virtual assistants for $7-8 an hour, and which is what I would be paying $25 to $30 an hour here locally. Okay, so this is real. Now we'll get into some other aspects of what's happening economically. Nike has 40% more inventory than normal because stuff's not selling. Okay, and so it's already impacting sales. Let's see. And again, these are all in the last 4 days. Cargo ships are canceling tons of sailings. This is a headline, okay? I don't have the reference here where it's from, but this is a headline. From Asia to Europe during their peak season because of demand. Demand has already slowed down in Europe. See, this is a global thing. It's not just U.S., okay? Keep that in mind. This is a global problem. All right, here's NPR, bad year for Wall Street. Now we're going to talk about Wall Street. You know, it's getting even worse. The stock market's finished September down. Okay, I think I've got some follow-up on this. Yeah, that makes this the worst September since 2002, okay? You know, the S&P has had the worst year-to-date performance in 20 years, okay? And this is, you know, again, this is not really out there as the main headlines. It's buried in the business sections, okay? I won't belabor the rest of this, but the bottom line is things are happening. Now let's talk about home sales. Home sales have declined for the 7th month in a row. I mean, this is a given. Interest rates have doubled in a year. We just closed, in fact, we have an asset under contract right now in Nashville. Beautiful asset. If you're accredited, you should check it out. Go to creecapital.com. We still have some slots left, but beautiful asset. But, you know, a year ago on our San Antonio asset, we got 3.2% interest. We're paying 5.2% interest on this asset. I mean, still a screaming deal, 10-year fixed interest rate. But the point is, that's what happened in the commercial market. It's even worse in the residential market in home sales. Interest rates, I will tell you, by the end of the year, they'll be up over 8%. I'm certain of it, okay? If they're not already. They may already be. I don't track the residential interest rates as much as I do the commercial, but it's, you know, is it going to affect U.S. home sales? You better freaking believe it already has. They've fallen off a cliff. You know, there's some markets that are still hanging in there, but pricing is absolutely flatlined or going down everywhere. Okay. Sales of existing homes fell for the 7th straight month, right? As sharply higher mortgage rates slammed brakes on buying activity. That's a given. You know, that's going to happen until pricing adjusts. Pricing is going to come down. Okay, everything's going on sale, guys. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Marcus & Millichap, largest commercial real estate broker out there, developing a development slowdown as step backward in resolving housing shortages, right? Because there are housing shortages. You know, there's a price gap for people to buy houses, and there's a shortage of houses. So, you know, but the development's going to slow that down. It's going to be the lack of development, rather. Okay, this is Economy Magazine. More than 20. Oh, this is also 30 days old. Okay, but still, 20 million U.S. households are behind in their utility bills. Just think about that for a minute. Process that for a second. 20 million households behind on their utility bills. That's what we call a clue, guys, okay? That's a clue. Foreclosures. I don't even think I have something on foreclosures here. No, here, love him or hate him, this Donald Trump warns U.S. economy could reach levels of Great Depression, okay? Elon Musk, richest guy on the planet, says everyone's lying, a bigger crash is coming. It's not coming from Rod, this is coming from these guys, okay? Warren Buffett, preparing for a market downturn. Okay, so how do you prepare? Okay, we'll talk about it. I want to show you Warren's quote here, okay? Be fearful when others are greedy, which has been the last couple of years, and be greedy when others are fearful, which is coming and starting right now, okay? So be greedy when others, here we go. Be greedy when others are fearful, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you here, because incredible opportunity is coming, okay? So how do you capitalize on that opportunity? Let's talk about that, okay? How do you prepare? The first thing you do is you have to conserve cash. And so you cut out all of your frivolous spending, okay? I told my wife I love spoiling her. She never expects anything, but I'm going to stop spending a lot of money on her. It's my greatest, my gift, love language is gifts. My students know this because they get books from me every month. But I've got to cut out the frivolous spending, and so do you. Conserve cash, because in a crisis, cash is king, okay? Super important. Now, you want to become as liquid as you possibly can. Now, if you don't have a lot of money, that's okay. I'm going to tell you what to do. But whatever money you have, you need to conserve, okay? Because again, that's how you'll be able to capitalize on the opportunity that's coming. Super important. You've also got to decide on your vehicle to capitalize on what's coming. So what do I mean by vehicle? Are you going to do real estate? Okay, if you're going to do real estate, what kind of real estate are you going to do? Are you going to do multifamily? You're going to do single family? You're going to do retail, office, industrial? I wouldn't do office because of the remote worker thing I just showed you. But are you going to do mobile home parks? If it's multifamily, I'm going to show you. I've got a boot camp literally coming up this weekend, October 15th and 16th, and I'll tell you how you can come for less than $100. But give me a minute on that. Okay, but you got to decide. Are you gonna build a business? Are you gonna, maybe stock market trade or crypto trade? What are you gonna do to capitalize on what's coming? And then you've got to become competent in that vehicle right now, okay? Because if you try to get up to speed in the depths of this thing, you'll get sucked into the fear and you won't do it. And you'll miss what could be the greatest opportunity of your lifetime to build legacy wealth for you, your family, your kids, their kids, their kids, and their kids. That's what's coming, okay? That opportunity is coming. And I can tell you, even if it's just a recession, that opportunity is going to be there, okay? In real estate for sure. So you become as competent as quickly as you can, because then you can influence others to invest with you or invest in you, okay? And that's why I'm saying, if you don't have a lot of liquidity right now, yes, real estate takes money, but you're going to find it doesn't have to be your own money, okay? I bought millions of dollars worth of property in my 20s, 50-50 with partners. They put up the money. I did all the work. Everybody was happy. And I can tell you, I have students that have bought tens of thousands of units without using their own money. Yes, they take money, but they've raised that money. They've raised even the money for the earnest money. It's called the at-risk capital. They've raised that. They've raised the down payment, the money they're going to use to reposition and fix up the property. It's called the CapEx. They've raised it all. But you've got to be competent in that vehicle, because once you're competent, you'll have confidence. And once you have confidence, then you will have the ability to influence people, okay, to invest with you. Now, if you are interested in multifamily, for God's sake, come to my freaking boot camp. It's this coming weekend. Now, if you miss it, I'll do one again in 3 months. But it's October 15th and 16th. It's 2 days. I don't sell anything there, okay? I wouldn't take your money if you gave it to me, okay? I'm going to have billions of dollars on the panelists to answer your questions. And I go through every aspect of the business, finding deals, raising all the money you need for your deals. I'm going to tell you what's coming. Raising the money is going to be the bigger issue. Finding the deals is not going to be the issue. And I teach you that in great detail. How to fully evaluate and do the due diligence on an asset, how to finance it, how to syndicate it, how to joint venture, even how to manage the property. No sales pitch. I'm going to also throw in my document library, which is tens of thousands of dollars I've spent on those documents, and my deal analyzer software for $97 freaking dollars, okay? So it's kind of a no-brainer. So what you want to do is, oh, you can't even see it. Okay, go to rodslinks.com. And it even includes the recordings. I'm sorry, you can't read my handwriting. rodslinks.com. You go there. And it includes the deal analyzer software, the document library, and the recordings. So if for some reason you can't make it, you get the recordings for $97. And let me just say this to you. If you come and you don't freaking love it, I don't mean like it, I mean absolutely freaking love it, you let me know and I'll give you your $97 back. Okay, that's my promise to you. Now, I'm going to say this. It is drinking through a freaking fire hose, okay? The manual's about that thick, and I've never had a complaint other than the brakes are too short, because I do brakes every couple hours. So bring your A game. I'll be bringing my A game. But the bottom line is, if it's going to be multifamily, you're crazy not to come to this thing. And again, it's rodslinks.com. Respectfully, you're crazy. I shouldn't say that publicly, but I mean, that's how I feel, honestly, because it's total value. I'm not like I'm teasing you or trying to sell you something. No, we're gonna go. It's a deep dive on all this stuff so you can take action, so you can capitalize on what's coming. I want you to capitalize on what's coming. Take advantage of it. Don't get sucked into fear and hunker down and not take any action and then 5 years from now have massive regret because you didn't take a step right now. So, and if you know me, I spend time on mindset. I'm known for mindset. I've lost $50 million in 2008 and 9. I talk about the mindset it took to have to lose that, to have it in the first place, and then the mindset it took to recover from that. So mindset is everything, and I spend a lot of time on mindset in the boot camp as well. So you actually take action with what you learn. So anyway, go to roslinks.com. I promise you'll be glad you came. I'll see you there.